Alrighty, y'all. Welcome back to the live stream here on the channel. Glad to see you guys all in here. We have most of the mods in here, Caden, as well as Henry, Kevin, and let's see, Jonathan. Glad to have you guys all in here, as well as everyone else who is watching the stream, may not be chatting. Henry, glad to have you here as well. So let's go ahead and dive on into today's live stream. I'm just going to make sure I have everything set up. It should be good to go. Let's go ahead and switch to our correct scene here. Should be this one, and I think my camera is half blocked. It sure is. I just realized that. How did that get blocked? I just opened it. Okay, there we go. So yeah, glad to see you guys all in here for another stream once again. We're gonna just be talking about today's threats for severe weather, as well as more importantly tomorrow's threats for severe weather. But currently we have a tropical system. We've got 90 oh geez, what is it, 90L, invest 90L out here nearing landfall, which should make landfall south of Tampa later this evening. So we will keep an eye on that. You can already see that it's really starting to get spinning out here. Here's a more high definition look at this blob of rain. You can see that's where your low pressure is, right where those velocities are. So this is going to be slowly, and I mean very slowly, making its way towards land here. It looks like it's going to make landfall in like 30 minutes or an hour. This is probably going to be a solid 2, maybe even pushing 3 hours before it makes landfall south of Tampa here. So we'll continue to watch that very, very closely, and I'll update y'all if that ends up moving closer. But this is where our main flash flood threat has been over the last couple hours, and will continue to be for the next 72 hours or so. Here is your overnight rainfall totals. So, you know, we've gotten almost 10 inches of rain out here east of the Everglades, and then out here into Miami, we've actually gotten upwards of 7, maybe even pushing 8 mile an hour, 8 mile an hour, what, 8 inches of rainfall there. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. And then this is once again where we have our low pressure that's moving into Florida here. And like I said, I don't know if those velocity couplets are your exact low pressure, but I know your low pressure is generally out in that vicinity. And this has really developed rapidly over like the last hour or so as it's gotten closer to the radar site. It's gotten, you know, easier to see. So we'll keep an eye on that. It doesn't even look like anything crazy at all. You know, like we were saying before, it should just be mainly a rain threat. That's about it. But that is dropping really, really, really heavy rainfall. So hopefully that stays offshore there. Most of our heaviest rainfall has stayed actually east of Miami offshore. But we still have, you know, a pocket of very heavy rain that has occurred out there east of the Everglades once again. And we should continue to see Here's a look at the last hour rainfall. These rainfall thunderstorms, I should call them. These rain showers, thunderstorms are eventually going to move on into the southern tip of Florida, and it's just going to continue for like the next 72 hours or so. So we could just take a quick look here at our simulated rainfall over the next couple hours. I don't know when was the last time this updated. At 2 p.m. this updated, so there's your current forecast, and we could go overnight tonight. So this is over the next, let me check. I want to see how long this is. This is over about the next 30 hours or so. You can see east of Cape Coral, we're expecting an additional 14 inches of rainfall. Just over here east of Naples, right around southeast of Fort Myers here, an additional 10 inches of rainfall anticipated. Miami, an additional 6 inches of rainfall anticipated over the next 48 hours. So we've already, I mean, I don't know if we've observed. Let me go look at what we've observed here once again. So this is the last, we'll do the last 24 hours so that way we can see it a little bit better. So this is what's been observed over the last 24 hours. And yeah, we haven't seen just yet up to that 10-inch mark at the moment, but we are definitely going to get there. We're definitely going to get there. I think we'll get there in multiple areas. I think most of this region here is going to see 10 plus inches of rainfall over the next 48 to 72 hours here. And then, of course, if you all watched my video earlier today, we've got our AOI still out there east of Florida. Now, our area of interest, where it currently is like I said, actually west of Tampa, about to make landfall in hopefully the next 3 hours. I say hopefully because we want this thing to get out of here quick because it's just stalling out over there, feeding rain into the southern tip of Florida. So this... Honestly, it's going to take a good 3 days for this thing to traverse across all of the peninsula of Florida before it gets here. So it should be inside that yellow area. I don't know when the National Hurricane Center anticipates that. Yeah, it's going to be a while. I mean, you're looking at a good solid, at minimum of 2 days. At least 2 days before it gets into that favorable environment where it could potentially develop into a tropical depression. Doesn't look that good though for a tropical depression, honestly. Then we have another AOI that was added as I was making a video that now has a 20% chance for the next 7 days, again, as we discussed in today's video. And currently this is just kind of, I mean, it's just really sitting there. There's not much to it. We could take a look at it right now. There's all your mess, and eventually all this mess is going to try to pull up to the north, some of it, and maybe form into a tropical system. I don't expect a tropical storm. Yeah, tropical system. Basically, when I say tropical system, that means it's not a depression, it's not a tropical storm, it's not a hurricane. Long story short, it's a low pressure in the ocean, pretty much. That's pretty much what I mean by saying tropical system. And now if I say tropical storm, that's a big, big difference. I don't think we'll see a tropical storm this month unless it's towards like the extreme latter half of June. So I'm not really too worried about tropical storm impacts, but I am definitely worried about flash flooding impacts. Like I pointed out once again, we've got so many tropical waves out here. We have one here that's going to make its way into the Gulf around the 20th, or actually this one's going to make it around into the 15th into the Gulf of Mexico here. Then we also have the wave out here west of Africa that will make it into the Gulf of Mexico about around the 20th there as well. And I think we have one more wave after that, but we can't see it at the moment. Yeah, currently we have 4. We have this AOI, then we have the tropical wave here moving into the Gulf over the next 5 days, then a tropical wave out here that'll move into the Gulf in about 10-ish days or so. Let's see, 5 NATO cats is probably overdoing it. What? Tomorrow has the potential to be a high-end 5%. I assume you meant there. I don't know. It looks messy. It really looks messy at the moment. Let me go ahead and show you guys our outlooks for the next couple days. So for today, we've got a slight risk still out here in Texas, not doing much. They did add a 2% out in the southern tip of Florida at the latest update at 4 p.m. Eastern, which was right when my video came out. Wind threat, still the main issue, 15%. Hail threat, still 5% as well, so no big deal there. Tomorrow's our biggest day as of right now. I don't know if Wednesday, or rather Thursday, is going to be bigger. Right now, Wednesday, tomorrow looks the biggest. We've got a very large 5% chance out there for tornadoes, 15% threat for damaging winds, and a 15 sig hail threat. Now, if we see an enhanced risk for tomorrow, it's most likely going to be around the Minneapolis area, possibly slightly more to the east of that hatched area, and it should be for hail. I don't anticipate it to be for anything else at this point in time. So main threat tomorrow should be hail, followed by tornadoes, followed by wind. And then Thursday, we've got this big marginal with an additional slight risk, so that's a level 1 and a level 2 threat as well. No hatched areas at the moment out there for Missouri, Kansas, Illinois, Nebraska, and Iowa as well. We'll just be monitoring that very, very closely just in case anything does occur. And it's still a little bit far out. Like I said, there's a lot of uncertainties on what's going to happen with it. But right now, the NAM 3K has Thursday being a massive wind threat. So we'll see. We'll monitor it. We just got to wait until we get closer. Like I said in the video, I just want to wait until we get to that 48-hour window, which will be probably about tomorrow afternoon. I'll take a look at the models and see if it looks interesting on Thursday. So tomorrow is the main day at the moment, Wednesday, up here in Wisconsin, Iowa, and Nebraska, Minnesota, all of Minnesota, North and South Dakota, and Nebraska once again. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, you probably don't need to be watching too much. Actually, I take that back. My bad. I didn't realize this was South Dakota. I completely just forgot to acknowledge that this whole thing is South Dakota here, not just like over here. Come on now. Yeah, definitely want to be hyper weather aware for tomorrow. You're in the main risk area. You could get upgraded to a level 3 threat for hail. At the moment, there is uncertainties on what may occur tomorrow. We should get a morning round towards, I keep calling it a morning round. I mean afternoon. 2 p.m. is not morning. So we should get a early afternoon round about 1, 2 p.m. Eastern time. That should carry an all hazards threat. And then there's still uncertainties on when our main threat will develop, but it should be about 6 o'clock when our main threat for severe weather develops, which I will show you the hour by hour forecast according to our HRRR model right now. Keep in mind, it's a model run, so it's not perfect. But regardless, you're definitely inside the risk for severe weather. All right, so if we go ahead and pull this through here, here's your morning showers and thunderstorms at 11 a.m. and then your early afternoon convection tomorrow out there in Minneapolis. Potential for severe weather there. And our main event, like I said, should start to kick off towards 6, 7 o'clock tomorrow up here in northern Minnesota. The only issue is with tomorrow, it's going to depend on how much morning convection and how much stuff we have out here, because that is what's going to be an issue. If we have all that morning convection, all that afternoon convection, it's going to take up all the instability back here, and you'll be left with barely any severe weather. So at the moment, there's a lot of uncertainties in terms of what thunderstorms we'll see out there in Sioux Falls, but you definitely want to be weather aware for the potential of all hazards. I'm in Harris, Iowa, and going chasing any ideas where I should target on the southern side of the 5% tornado risk. I assume you meant to say. Give me just a moment. I did see Legacy. Thank you for being a member for 10 months now. Much appreciated. I'm in Minnesota, and the thumbnail shows tornadoes. He sure does. It sure does. I believe all of Minnesota is under that tornado risk tomorrow. Sure are. With the exception of the extreme northwest extent, which I just now noticed. But pretty much all of Minnesota has a risk for tornadoes tomorrow. Pretty much all of Minnesota there. And if you're barely outside that tornado risk, you're probably in another risk for like hail. See up here in far northwest Minnesota, you're not in that tornado risk, but you are inside that hail risk. So all hazards will be on the table for tomorrow inside the yellow area. And even outside the yellow area in that dark green region, we could also have the potential for tornadoes as well. So definitely want to be weather aware if you're anywhere in Minnesota. Most specifically, I think the most significant severe weather will be out in this area here. So that is where I would be the most weather aware. Let's see here. Nightbot got you, Caden, for saying Brooklyn's name because it's all capsed. So yeah, Storm Dakota, again, back to your question, my bad. Are you wanting to chase northwestern Iowa? It might be best to chase the afternoon round. See, that would be a call I make in the morning. This is the type of threat where I wouldn't know what to do until the morning. So, I don't know. There's so much uncertainty. There's a lot of uncertainty because wherever that morning line tracks, it's going to kill the potential. So if we get the morning and afternoon line here, then I'm not targeting anywhere around this area. I'm either going to target the southwest extent or the northeast extent of the risk. But if that morning convection is, further to the southwest, then I'm going to target all up here. So it just depends. That's really a call you got to make in the morning. But my two areas would be it depends on what you're wanting to chase. If you're wanting to chase like right where windstorms fire, I would go up towards Brookings. But if you're just wanting to chase in just Iowa, I would get as close to Sioux Falls as possible. That's one target area, as close to Sioux Falls as you can. And then the other target area, which again you'll just have to determine with that afternoon round, would be closer to southeastern Minnesota. But I think you should target, personally, if you're wanting to really chase, I would target the evening round in southeastern South Dakota because by the time they get to you, it may be dark. It may be pretty dark out. Pretty much anywhere, there's really not a wrong target area. Just anywhere right here would be perfectly fine. It's just something that you're going to have to make a call on based off of surface observations, and that's what's the most important. One of the most difficult things is choosing your target area the night before because once you wake up, a lot of stuff changes. You figure out the dew points are lower or higher than they were supposed to be or whatever. And there's, cloud cover. There may not be cloud cover. Storms may be a bit more east than we thought. So it's really a call you make in the morning hours on exactly where to target. So, if you were chasing like full-time chasing, I would be getting a hotel along I-90. But I assume, you're kind of backyard-ish chasing. So I would just look at morning observations and figure out where to go from there. But no matter what, I would try to get as close as I can to, like I said, Sioux Falls up in this area. There's really two target regions. Once again, it's wherever that convection doesn't track, which is possibly a target area here and possibly a target area here. Not only that, the SPC will update tomorrow as well, so you'll be able to, adjust according to what their outlook has as well. So there's a lot of different things. It's not easy to chase. Let's see. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea to bring your weather radio. Not a bad idea at all. Storms shouldn't be significant for anything but wind, or rather for hail and possibly wind as well. So hail will be the main issue tomorrow. So, when you leave for work or even now, if you have time, make sure you have all the cars covered up with tarps or under a carport or just prepare for, up to 2-inch hail. Just in case. Another chance possibly tonight? Oh, shoot. Really? Do I need to go chase? I chased the other auroras. Absolutely crazy. We are going to look up NOAA space. I just accidentally typed it in properly. And now I can't remember what it is. Space weather. There you go. Aha. So many abbreviations to remember. My word. All right, I'll wait for that to load up here. No, Connor's not going live today. He's taking a break. I mean, it looks like a chance, but it's very low. I mean, like, the only place you're really going to see it. Oh, yeah, there's definitely a chance tonight. Towards midnight tonight. Yep. Looks like there will be a chance. But it's probably going to be in, like, northern Minnesota where you have an opportunity to see him, and that's, like, it. Tomorrow? Good question. I assume so. He told me he was, so I assume he is. Yep, he is. 3:30 tomorrow. He's going to go live. So he sure is. I don't know if I'll be live that early. I'll kind of just watch and see when I want to go live. Could be anywhere between 3 and 8. So again, this is tomorrow's outlook for those just joining. We have a marginal risk level 1 and a slight risk level 2. So the tornado threat is a level 2, the wind threat is a level 2, and the wind threat is a level 2 hatched. Long story short, this just means the potential for 2-inch hail, up to 70-mile-an-hour winds, and a couple tornadoes will be possible. They are talking about adding a level 3 threat possibly near Minneapolis, northern Iowa, southern Minnesota. So we'll keep an eye on that, see if they upgrade that for hail. So we may end up looking at potentially 3-inch hail tomorrow. I don't think the tornado threat will be upgraded unless that morning convection is considerably more east, considerably more weaker, or just not there. We'll just see that that crap vection in the morning hours is definitely going to be a problem. And then Thursday, I do believe we have another significant day, probably for wind. Anywhere in this general area here. I think they'll expand that slight risk, maybe slightly more to the west, slightly more to the south. And I don't know about that. That seems like a pretty good slight risk, at least on the eastern portion. But I really want to wait until tomorrow when we're very, very close to it, preferably like 24 hours out or so. And then we'll be able to determine more about it. We're very close to that 48-hour window. We'll hit that 48-hour window tonight at about 10 p.m. 10 p.m. is when we'll hopefully get some better model runs for Thursday's threat. And again, if you guys haven't already seen it, we've got a slight risk for this is flooding, excessive rainfall for today, tomorrow, day 3, day 4. So slight risks on excessive rainfall is a level 2 out of 4. Slight risks on the SPC is a level 2 out of 5. So with the flash flooding, they do not have an enhanced risk. So they don't have a enhanced risk. Their level 3 out of 4 for flooding is a moderate, which makes it very confusing. And then on day 5, we've got a marginal. So big flooding possible today. We've already seen a lot of flooding. And here's a look at that now. That is a very intense water spout ongoing right now. Well to the east of Miami. You can see that couplet of rotation. That's probably near 100-mile-an-hour rotation there. Yep, about 42 plus 55, so that's going to be 97 right there. So about 100-mile-an-hour rotation out here with a little vortex hole in it as well. A very classic, intense water spout ongoing out here, most likely. If this was over land, it would most likely be a very significant tornado. You can see the hook is fully wrapped around there, so it's a donut. And then your base of the supercell is right here. So that is a very intense water spout ongoing right there. Well to the east of Miami. Here is, once again, 90L. The low pressure is somewhere out here. I don't know exactly where, but it's spinning out here. Having a good time. Probably going to drop upwards of, we could see upwards of 13 inches of rainfall south of Tampa over the next 72 hours or so. I haven't looked at the Weather Prediction Center for a little while, so I don't know if they've updated it. So yeah, around the Tampa area. So that's Tampa. So Tampa tomorrow could receive 4 inches of rain. Then the day after that, you guys could receive an additional 2 inches of rain. Day after that, 2 inches of rain. So that's 8 inches of rain. And then tonight you could receive 3. So that's 11 inches of rain that's forecasted over the next 72 hours out there in Tampa, Florida. Also pointing off to the south. So definitely a flood threat present there. Hopefully, what I think is kind of not making this a ridiculous flash flood threat is the fact that we have lighter rain and we have breaks in the rain, so it's not consistent heavy rainfall. The only areas where we've seen consistent heavy rainfall is like right over Miami. That's the main area where we've had consistent heavy rainfall today, which has resulted in quite a lot of flood potential, and flood warnings are out there. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our tropics. We want to take a current look at 90L out here that has been designated here. There's a look at it, and let's see if we can spot the low pressure. Oh, I can. Can you spot it? I see it. I can see it. It is indeed, from what I can tell, right here. Yep, so you can see it backtracking back there, and at the beginning of the frame, it's right here. And now it's moved all the way up to just southwest of Tampa, I believe. Do we have water vapor on here? Okay, we do. Water vapor can also help with that. Maybe there you go. Maybe this water vapor would be easier to see it. It doesn't make it that easy, honestly. Man, you can see this big trough here that's in place. I believe that might actually be, let me check. I want to see what we have here. Should be a trough. Yep. Big trough in place right there. And then we have a high pressure that's in place further to the west. That trough that I've just marked there should be what pulls this system a little bit farther out to where it could possibly form into a tropical depression. Regardless, the impacts to the U.S. are going to be very minimal after the next 72 hours. Really, the main threat's just going to be rain. Rain and flooding. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. Just under about half of y'all have hit that like button, so it would be greatly appreciated if you can go ahead and hit that. And yeah, also make sure you've subscribed to the channel if you're new. Share this channel with your family, friends, social media. Help spread weather awareness. This is just a weather update. There's no tornadoes are happening right now. Everything's really going to occur tomorrow in terms of the tornadic activity. I'll show that again. Let me make sure I put that in the title. Did I? Yes, I did. Yes, I did say tomorrow in the title. So this is the main area to watch tomorrow. We've got a slight risk for severe weather level 2 and a marginal risk level 1. So not a high-end threat by any means. Typically, a high-end threat is a moderate or a high risk. And then an elevated threat for thunderstorms is an enhanced risk. So marginal is really just a little bit stronger thunderstorms. Slight risk is where you're looking at more thunderstorms being severe. Enhanced risk is where it's an elevated threat for thunderstorms. That's where you could potentially see tornado outbreaks, severe weather outbreaks. And then moderate is where you start talking about, depending on the hazard, gigantic hail, 4 or 5 inch in diameter, 80, 90 mile an hour winds, possibly violent tornadoes. And then the high risk is where you're expecting a tornado outbreak, which high risks are very rare. We've had one this year, and it did materialize into a tornado outbreak, despite what Twitter said. So we'll just continue to watch the SPC's outlooks. They'll have new ones out tonight, late tonight. Thursday, still a slight risk for severe weather. I believe this shrunk quite a lot. I remember us having a slight risk. I swear it was all the way from like Michigan back towards Kansas. I feel like the day 4 risk was that big. But, oh well. Good news. That's the good news because it means it's downtrended. What color table do I use for my reflectivity? I have no earthly idea. I put it in the Discord server and general chat one day. No kidding how long ago that was. I could attempt to find it, but if you're in the Discord server, I think it's the second link in the description. Let me check. Should be. Yeah. Maybe I can find it in there. It's somewhere up in those messages in general chat from a couple days ago. Okay. Let me see. Alrighty. I just remembered. I just remembered to talk about the severe weather potential later in the future here. So if I just go ahead and pull this out. This is the new model run, new GFS, everybody's favorite model run. The totally most accurate model run here. Still showing a broad area for the potential of severe weather on Saturday, possibly all the way from Kansas, Oklahoma, back up to the Dakotas as we go towards Saturday. Hopefully I said that. And Sunday, another risk closer to Wisconsin. Pretty much the same place we're looking at tomorrow. And then Monday, it's going to go right back towards Kansas, Nebraska. Tuesday, it should shift up to the north towards North Dakota. And here's the ensembles, which is the GFS ensembles, the average supercell composite. So you can see Saturday in the exact area. Sunday, iffy. It looks like there's a broad area of supercell composite, so it's not that confident at the moment. Tuesday, Nebraska into Kansas. And then Wednesday, a little bit more to the north. And then after that, it gets to La La Land. Yeah, big washout happening in Florida. We were just looking at that. Our tropical system's nearing landfall. Look at it. It's becoming a very defined low pressure here. We've got some pretty good convection around our low pressure now. The low pressure is generally in this area, and you've got a heavy area of rainfall out here to the east. If you're wondering why this storm isn't like a hurricane, or why it's not as organized, why it doesn't look like a tropical storm or your traditional, massive system for a hurricane, shear. Wind shear is tearing the system apart like crazy. Wind shear is just destroying this storm, which is thanks to our El Nino, which I believe we're still in an El Nino. Catman, you could go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong. I do want to look at the current wind shear here, just to see where all of our wind shear is. Let's go to the Northern Atlantic. Upper wind shear. Oh yeah, we got a bunch of wind shear. Wow, there's just a bunch of wind shear piled all into this area because we have a high pressure. A high pressure is located out towards the southern Gulf area, and that's just slamming wind shear from the northwest to the south-southeast. So the entire western portion of this thing's just being shredded. And I think the only thing that's really helping it is the trough that's in place. If we take a look at our satellite here, I want to look at your water vapor because satellite's not going to be the best. So there's your big trough that's in place right here. And then again, you have your high pressure further to the south out in that general area, a little bit more to the west, actually. Out here. So that's funneling wind shear up in this area. This trough is what's going to help keep it in place. And we have another high pressure back here that's going to move east and help keep it in place. So it is physically impossible for this system to head up towards the Carolinas. It will have to stay south of this area here. So it's just going to slowly make its way up here. And this trough's in the way, so we got to wait till that trough moves out. Then we'll get that high pressure that builds in, which should help to fling it away, I hope. And that's what could help encourage this system to develop once that high pressure builds in place. This trough's out of here. That's why they have that 20% AOI in place right here. Very complicated, I know. Long story short, a block here, nice wall. Wall here, low pressure here, moves up to the northeast, could develop, and then we'll move out to sea. There you go. That's your rundown of the weather pattern out here for the next 5 days. Oh, also flood. Can't forget about the flood. The flooding will stay either just out in front of the low pressure or to the south. We shouldn't get any flooding north of that low pressure. So I would be pretty surprised if we see flooding more than about 20 miles north of Tampa. Up towards like the Palm Coast area pointing north. Heading into a neutral in the coming weeks. Neutral next month. Man, you think we're going to make it to La Nina in August? Or you think it's going to be a neutral? That's one of the main reasons why I feel like if I had to redo my hurricane forecast, I'd knock off 2 of the named storms, one of the hurricanes and one of the major hurricanes on my forecast, because the La Nina's not developing how we anticipated. I mean, it kind of is. It's just not as rapid. Just not as rapid at the moment. That is a very beautiful trough, by the way. It's not every day you see that awesome of a trough on whatchamacall this thing. I can fix that legacy. Mod. Yeah, but it's not every day you see a clear trough like that on the water vapor imagery. You know what I'd like to look at here? I'd like to get the high definition satellite imagery that NOAA provides to us. Because this ought to look awesome. Where are you? Water vapor? Or do upper water vapor? Oh, it's not going to animate. Here you go. There's a nice look at your trough ejection in the eastern U.S. right there. Really nice spin to it. Look at that spin. Awesome spin to that. Let's see. I don't know why I drew a low pressure there, because there's not a low pressure there. I was just trying to point out the spin. The actual low pressure, we have 2 of them. Or 3. We have low pressure here, and then we have another low pressure back up in Maine. And then this is a crazy warm front, cold front right here. There's a nice warm front, cold front generally along that area. I didn't draw that right. It's supposed to be like this. There you go. There you go. Generally like that. Absolutely awesome water vapor imagery there. We could even loop it more. Should do 60 frames. Look at that nice trough too. Look at that. Dude. I need to look at this more often. This on a big weather day would be jaw-dropping. Is that another trough up there? I rarely look at water vapor. I need to... Oh, it is. Yep. And then you have this jet stream across most of the U.S. as well. Trough up here, trough over here. Warm front, cold front, like I drew generally here. You've got another trough entering the U.S. at the far top left corner of your screen up here, which you can't see. Dang it. It's up in Washington. I could literally sit here and just watch this for hours. I could actually just have this up and look at it for hours. And every time I look at it, I'll just be like, wow, that's impressive. Because troughs are just so fascinating to me. Because I'm a weather nerd. Show y'all the Climate Prediction Center. For those who may have missed the video, which I highly suggest you go and watch, because I pretty much went over everything in that video, but quicker than what I did in this live stream. Minus the temperature outlook. This is when I'm very happy to be living in the Appalachians. Very annoying heat off to my east. Very annoying heat off to my west. I wish you luck, Legacy. You have fun. Have fun, Legacy. Have fun. I hope you have a lot of fun. So we've got crazy heat in the west. Crazy, and I mean crazy heat in the east with a drought expected in the extreme eastern coastal areas of the U.S. Severe weather anticipated on the northern side of the U.S. Tropical systems anticipated on the southern side of the U.S. And I'm sure we're going to have a big clash of severe weather possible right here as well for someday in the future. We're actually having one today, and I believe, did we have a severe weather threat yesterday in Texas? Shoot, where was yesterday's severe threat? We had a slight risk. Where? I've forgotten. My mind is blank. I know we had a slight somewhere. So, again, severe weather possible. Severe weather will be possible really all over the place up here in the northern side of the U.S. Flooding possible in the southern U.S. And then heat in the western side and the eastern side of the U.S. with a drought on the east coast anticipated as well. I'm sorry, every time I draw this, I just see a frown face. I gotta draw it now so y'all see it again. So remember, heat here, and then flooding here. All I see is a frown face. Hello, Haley. Glad to see you in here. Triple-digit temperatures this weekend. Yeah. Have fun, have fun. Oh, they added a moderate. Look at that. That was a slight risk when I recorded my video earlier today. They have added a moderate risk for excessive rainfall there in anticipation for a tropical system, which is currently located just west of Africa, making its way all the way through the MDR, then the Caribbean, then eventually the Gulf of Mexico around the 19th and the 20th, which we've been talking about the 20th for a very long time, at least the last 5 to 6 days. Shocker, no snows anticipated in the U.S. anytime soon. And then that's a wind threat. Whenever I see that, you know what I immediately look for? When I see that wind, I immediately, right off the bat, think trough ejection. Let's go to the 19th. Oh. Ooh, nope. No trough. Maybe a little something, but I don't see it trying to sneak in. See the little short wave right here? See it trying to. It doesn't really succeed there. You can even see the little area of supercell composite from the short wave as well. Right there. Let's see if the 18Z has it. Oh, wow. The 18Z just said no. 18Z completely got rid of it. What about our tropical moisture? Is that still there? Oh, look how far south that is. What are you doing way down there, buddy? I just switched to snowfall. Texas, look at that. It moved it all the way west. Holy crap. Like yesterday. Yeah, look at this. This was last night's GFS model run. Louisiana, Mississippi. Earlier this morning, pretty much the same spot. Early this afternoon, all the way into Texas. And now in the evening, the new model run, well into southern Texas. Very far into southern Texas. Oh. 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 Whoa. Oh. Oh, look at that. They have introduced a 40% chance for a tropical depression on the CPC. Look at that right there in the Gulf. Hold on a second. Let me go all the way. Oh, okay, I see it. But that's a lot of uncertainty though. That's difficult to predict. That's a bold move putting a 40% there. They must really have some confidence in the potential there for a tropical depression. Well, keep an eye on that because that's the first about 40% we've seen from the Climate Prediction Center this year. for tropical development there. Now, that's very different from the National Hurricane Center. If the National Hurricane Center had a 40%, Twitter would be freaking out. The Climate Prediction Center, they highlight things much further out before the National Hurricane Center gets to it, which is why if we're really far out, we look at the CPC, and then as we get closer, we look at the National Hurricane Center, and then continue to look at the National Hurricane Center, then start looking at the Weather Prediction Center, then start looking at the National Weather Service, and then, of course, by day one, we're looking at observations. There's always a bunch of steps to forecasting this stuff. Look at that. They already have flooding possible in that region right here. Very difficult to see that. See that weird gray color from like New Orleans through near Baton Rouge, Lake Charles back towards Houston. That little weird grayish color, that's where flooding's possible. And that's from the 19th to the 22nd. And then, of course, temperature outlook. Yikes. Yay! See the blue here? The red here? That, I mean, geez, that's just a dead giveaway. They even have it. Above average precip. That is the most dead giveaway for, hey, severe weather is going to be possible. Right here, dude. Right here, severe weather is going to be possible. Clear as day. So we're just going to keep an eye on this main area for severe weather potential. And then this is, I hate that. We don't like that. And then we got the tropical systems possible to the southern side of the U.S. And then the 8 to 14 day outlook, still have it. Still have it. Still moving the above average temperatures further to the east, and we still have an area of above average precip in the north central U.S. There's a current drought monitor. Quite the drought monitor in the southern side of the U.S., as well as out here towards New Mexico and Texas. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. 1 month outlook. So this is for June. Interesting. Interesting. And then that's still for June, July, August. So we're going to continue to talk about this stuff. We'll dive on into it even more here. But before we do that, just make sure you guys have hit that like button. We're trying to get to 100 likes on this live stream. We're at 63. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. If you are new, and yeah, also go watch my new video if you haven't already after this live stream. It's greatly appreciated. But I'm gonna go ahead and move this on over here. So whoa, we just got a MCD put out in North Carolina not that long ago. Just 2 hours ago. I might have missed that. That's probably going to expire here shortly. Yep. 23 minutes that expires. Let's see if we can even spot these storms here. Yeah. Just a couple storms firing off of a cold front, warm front. That's about it. Not anything too over the top. Severe storm in Texas. I'm quite sure that's about to expire as well, because I remember seeing that. 8 more minutes. Yep. And do we still have that other severe? Where was it? Yeah, New Mexico. We still have it. Right in the middle of the mountains here. So it's a bit difficult to see, but you can still see it. Southeast of Las Vegas. New Mexico. New Mexico right there. And let me go ahead and switch this to tomorrow's outlook once again. And we'll go ahead and look at the HRRR. For those who haven't seen it, here is the HRRR model run, one of the more accurate models that we use. And you can see morning convection develops early tomorrow, about 5 a.m. in western Minnesota, pushes through Minneapolis around 7, 8 a.m., and then progresses off to the southeast with more rain showers possible. And then by the time we go towards 2, 3 p.m., we may have a few severe thunderstorms south and southeast of Minneapolis, moving off to the southeast once again. And then in the evening hours, this is where the uncertainty is, because this morning convection would destroy any ingredients present there. So we'd see convection to the east of that, and maybe some to the west. Let's see. Yeah, we could definitely see some development out there in eastern South Dakota. So we'll watch that closely as well. But again, this is just a model run. There's a lot of uncertainties for tomorrow. I really just want to wait until the meso analysis and more accurate data comes in tomorrow morning. I don't want to be going too in depth with this when I'm quite confident a lot of stuff's going to change. And if it doesn't, then hey, fine by me. Fine by me. All right, let me go over here. Also, thank you guys for watching today's video. Much appreciated. It's getting up there. So thank you guys for supporting that tropical update. I'm going to be, just a heads up, experimenting with thumbnails for tropical updates over the next couple weeks, as I have no idea how to make them. So I'm just winging it. I'm just winging it. Yeah, I don't know what Nightbot's on. And hello. Glad to see you in here. Should ban Nightbot for that. I need to fix Nightbot. I need to get working on that. I'm slacking. I need to fix some Nightbot stuff, but I'd rather have, honestly, I'd rather have Nightbot be aggressive as opposed to just useless. So, should I be worried about tornadoes on Thursday? No. Is that good? Pretty sure that works. Let me see. Yeah, you're not even in a marginal. You're perfectly fine. We're not close enough to, like I said, Wednesday, in my opinion, not Wednesday, but Thursday has just an absurd amount of uncertainty. In my opinion, like absolutely anything could happen Thursday. We could have the potential for an outbreak in this area if we manage to see the right storm mode and the right ingredients, because it's not every day you see 5,300 uncapped instability over Kansas City on at 7 o'clock in the evening here. Oh, my bad. Actually, this is 5 o'clock out here Central Time. Let me switch all. I didn't realize we're looking at the wrong scheme. This is what I was looking at here. I just took a sounding over Kansas City. I'm waiting for it to appear. Or just deny me. Oof. Okay. Well, I can already tell you this. Lower level wind shear is a lacking ingredient. But holy crap. It is not every day that you see almost 7,000 uncapped instability, 78 dew points, and 94 temps at 5 o'clock in the evening in Kansas in June. Kansas City. It's in Kansas and Missouri. I mean, that is something. It just looks like we don't have much of a trough to it, I imagine. So if we switch to like the NAM 500 millibars, yeah, there's not much of a jet stream to it. But I mean, all it takes is a little pocket like that. And I wonder if that's going to have, yep, a better chance for severe weather. And that's all it takes. So Thursday could easily be significant for every hazard. But we just got to wait until we get closer, because we're just a little bit too far out. Just a little bit too far out. So I would not be shocked to see them pull an enhanced risk for Thursday. And I wouldn't be shocked to see them do absolutely nothing and just keep it as a normal slight risk for like wind and hail. It could go either way for Thursday. I'm definitely leaning a lot more towards not much happening Thursday as opposed to, you know, something crazy. All right, I'll pull a sound in over your area, but I mean, it's gonna be garbage, literally. This is about to be one of the worst soundings. Yeah, this should be a bad sounding. If this isn't a bad sounding, I will be blown away. Yep, terrible. Right off the bat, you're capped out, 700 instability, almost 20-degree temperature, dew-point spread. That's all I have for you. Nothing crazy whatsoever. Terrible sounding. But that is just a model run, so I wouldn't. I think if anything, if you manage to get anything, it's going to be light rain with the potential for gusty winds up to 5 to 10 miles per hour. That's about it, unless something uptrends like ridiculously out there. I need to learn soundings better. Yeah. They're not too difficult to learn unless you're really getting into the nitty gritty of things. But long story short, I mean, I could do a quick rundown. Here's your photograph, basically what storms are going to look like. You've got instability down here, lapse rates, temperatures, and dew points. Your wind shear varying with height, and your wind barbs here as well for how strong that wind shear is. Your wind shear down here as well. Your dew points moving up with height. Your temperatures moving up with height. Your instability is in between the temperature and the blue line here on College Dew page, and there's your rundown. Ta-da! Oh, then you also have your millibar marks as well. So you've got your lower level jet here is 850 millibars. Your lower levels is 700 to about 900-ish. Mid levels is from about 500 to 700. And then your upper level was rarely do I ever look at this stuff. Typically, I'm always looking at 500 millibars and less. I don't really pay much attention above 500. You have instability, capping, all your wind shear. It's a lot of stuff to learn, but it's really fun to learn. I've been meaning to watch a series of soundings. There's like so much. I could get you some, Chip, actually. I could get a link for it and post it in the Discord server and off topic. If you're in the Discord server, which I think you are. And yeah, you can watch that because I know a really good YouTuber who did a full rundown on it. I want to do a rundown on it, but the only thing is I don't want to be dead wrong about it, so that's why I just want to make sure I've learned, like, everything before I try to do tutorials. I don't want to do a tutorial and then give out information that's dead wrong. Let's see here. So, yeah, just make sure you're weather aware if you're inside the risks for severe weather. Here's today's risk. Slight risk out there west of Austin. Shouldn't be much of, but just a wind and isolated small hail threat. Tomorrow, that's when we're going to cover for 3 hours or so. I don't know when we'll start. We could start as early as 3. We could start as late as 8 o'clock Eastern. And then on Thursday as well, keep an eye out if you're in that dark green or that yellow area. These outlooks tomorrow, Thursday, they're going to change. We could see an orange area level 3 introduced. Who knows? Maybe they'll be downgraded to just a level 1. But we definitely want to keep an eye on it. If you're in Florida, around the Tampa area, pointing south, this general vicinity here, that also includes Key West. Make sure you're keeping an eye out for the potential of significant flash flooding. The most likely area for that is in Miami currently. And that threat will be over the next 5 days or so. And here is our tropical depression, our low pressure, or not tropical depression, my bad. Here, invest. It is not a tropical depression by any means. It is a invest. So basically we have different things here. Typically one of the first things that happen is the CPC highlights an area of interest. That's normally 8 to 14 days out. The next step is the National Hurricane Center issuing a AOI. These steps here is confusing. Sometimes you could get the tropical wave detection first, the surface analysis first, tropical wave, then they'll put the AOI. Sometimes you'll get the AOI first, then the tropical waves added. Those can be either way, but typically it's going to go, like I said, CPC outlook, 8 to 14 days, tropical wave designation, And then you're going to jump to the National Hurricane Center, AOI, which we're at now. Then you're going to get to the Invest, which we just recently got up to. And next step from an Invest is the National Hurricane Center continuing to up the percentage of a tropical depression. And then eventually a tropical depression, tropical storm, category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hurricane. So we have all these steps to take to make things more accurate and more informative, and all that measures and everything's that the National Hurricane Center, National Weather Service has done. They've improved drastically over the last 20 years. You should see the outlooks from 2004, 2005. I mean, shoot, even 2010, even 2016. I remember like 2015, 2016 being like one of the bigger years for weather in terms of me being interested in it and finding more things about weather. But yeah, I think it's going to rain a bunch in Florida, not a hurricane. Yeah, definitely, definitely not a hurricane. I pray nobody's calling for a hurricane because that'd be dumb. just going to say it flat out. That'd be dumb. No one should even be calling for a tropical storm or a tropical depression at this point. A tropical depression is, I guess it's a possibility for a tropical depression because we do have the AOI. So I suppose, somebody could say tropical depression possible in the Atlantic because it's not wrong information. It's just we're not anticipating to see a tropical depression, but possible doesn't mean anticipated. So I guess it's not wrong to call for a tropical depression being a possibility. Tropical storm is out of the question at the moment. Hurricane is well out of the question. Not even thinking about a tropical storm or a tropical or a hurricane. I am thinking of a tropical depression. I do think we have a chance, but it's a low one. Just like the National Hurricane Center says. I think it's about a 10 to 20% chance of formation over the next week or so. I agree with that. And there is the potential that we see it. There is. Some models, I don't know why. I got to show y'all this. Please take this as if it's not going to happen because I don't know what the heck these things are saying. But these two models, which I've only ever heard of on the ensembles, they show this thing getting like borderline hurricane. Like, what? I've never seen any ensembles or models so far from the other ensembles. Like, you've got this nice group here, and you can see we might get close to it in about 48 to 60 hours. There may be a chance that we see it as it exits off the Florida coastline south of South Carolina, and then maybe a second chance once it starts to leave the coastline of South Carolina. And then apparently in the Atlantic, it just won't, according to those ensembles. So I don't know what they're up to, but sure. Glad to have you in here, Mezzo Hunter. Hopefully you've had a great day. Same goes for Pete. Glad to see you here as well. And yeah, you're welcome. This is more of a briefing, though. It's not too much of a coverage thing. But we'll definitely be doing a lot of coverage tomorrow. We'll have our chaser out and about too, Connor Croft. I actually want to see. Let's look at this together. I have not looked at this yet, which is why I haven't talked about it at all. But what could this system do after it leaves? Let's see what happens here. Let me close this out. What do we do? What do we do? Okay, we're low pressure, potential tropical depression. Not anything interesting. And it's gone. Where the heck did it go? Really, bro? Really, GFS? You're really gonna do that? You're really gonna pull that tropical wave that we've been talking about for a week now, almost, and you're gonna just throw a hurricane into the Gulf coastline? This is the new GFS model. It's not gonna happen. I'll just go ahead and put that out there. I can already... Jeez. That doesn't go out far enough. What in the world? If you see anything about this, I'll point out one thing and one thing only. right there. You see that? You see that? You see how many frames out we are? So if you see anybody trying to talk about a hurricane or a tropical storm possible this far out, just point them to that timestamp right there. Just make sure you have every last arrow pointing to that 288 hours out time frame right there. Because that's a little bit far out, huh? For instance, let's just look at the old model runs. Okay, tropical storm, maybe hurricane. Oh, now it's just a low pressure. Oh, now it's completely gone. Oh, oh shoot, category 4. Oh, now it's a tropical storm. Oh, now it's gone again. Oh, now it's completely gone. Oh, another tropical storm. Oh, now it's gone again. See how much this thing changes? Look at that. No consistency. No consistency. We go from a hurricane to not even an area of interest in one single model run. And that's exactly what happened here. We go from no area of interest to, okay, a low pressure. Oh, shoot, hurricane. 972 millibar. That is like almost Cat 2. My word. I love looking at this stuff just because it's so stupid. This is like, we have the potential to see a tropical system, but not something with winds of, 64 knots. I don't know how strong that is. Let's see. 64 knots to mph. 73 miles per hour, so that's like a tropical storm, borderline hurricane. Let's see. Cat 1 hurricane is, yeah, 74, yeah. So that wouldn't, wow. A 972 tropical storm would be crazy. That would be crazy. So just remember, that's far out. Don't go thinking we're going to see a hurricane in the Gulf, because it's not going to happen. At least not now. It is inevitable this season, unfortunately. It would be historic for us not to see a hurricane in the Gulf this year. That's how crazy this season looks. Which, like I said, if I could, I would fix my hurricane forecast a little bit. I'd back down just a bit. A 9 is 68 landfall in southern Mississippi, according to this trash model run. Sure, buddy, sure. Let's see. I guarantee this will be gone by tomorrow, by the way. Oh, you know what I haven't looked at all today? Ensembles. I'll admit that. I have not even looked at the ensembles. Let's look at them together. Let's see what they have. Yeah, GFS or GEFS. And then upper or lower. Lower dynamics. There's your ensemble. I'm going to go to the 12Z because that's more accurate. See you later, Legacy. Thanks for tuning in Mod Chat. So there's your area of interest. Yikes. That's a whole lot of opportunity, man. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not even going to lie. That's a lot of opportunity. That's a heck load of opportunity. And let's just look at the consistency. And you'll see it has been there at least somewhat. But on the 12Z, that thing just shot up. Look at that. And I also want to look at the European. Not so much, like, at all. So, it's definitely going to be a possibility, but I think if anywhere, it's going to be pretty much where the European has it, out here. I think that's going to be our first area to watch around June 18th. Man, we've got, the tropics are waking up. Holy crap. Holy crap. Holy crap. We got an AOI out here, AOI out here, tropical Invest 90L out here. We've got a tropical wave over here. We've got a tropical wave over here. We've got a tropical wave here. Right? Yes. This wave's moving up towards the Gulf. We could get another wave that develops here, moves into the Yucatan, potentially develop towards the 19th. This should move potentially towards Mexico. Not sure where it's going to go. This is going to move into the Gulf, and according to the GFS, become a hurricane. And then I guess this is supposed to become a hurricane too. There's just a lot of waves, but I don't think anything's like too ridiculous, honestly. Yeah. I don't use the Canadian model much. Matter of fact, I don't even know which one it is. It might be this one, the GEPS. That might be Canadian. Honestly, no idea. But that does, whatever this is, this ensemble does have something in it too in the Gulf. So we definitely could see a system in there, but I'm definitely not going to be saying tropical storm or hurricane anytime soon. Now, I will say area of interest, tropical system, and potential flooding impacts, but that's about it. Until the National Hurricane Center at least gives it a solid chance. Once they highlight it, like I said, once they highlight an area of interest, that's when you can start talking about a tropical depression. And then once that thing goes up to like an 80 or 90%, you can start talking about a tropical storm and, so on and so forth, depending on what models say. So, yeah, we are 19 likes away from our like goal in this live stream. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. It's greatly, greatly appreciated. And share this channel with your family, friends, social media. Always appreciated as well. And subscribe if you are new, because we'll be live for multiple hours tomorrow as well. Today's probably going to be about an hour and a half, 2-hour live stream. So we're past halfway. We like to do these briefings before things occur, and yeah. We're going to have a lot of these for hurricane season. Live streams are definitely going to slow down. They may not be daily. They're probably going to be every other day, but that won't happen until at least Thursday. Because once we have severe weather, we do daily live streams, and man, I don't want to be dealing with a hurricane. I would say I hope the GFS is wrong, but I already know it is. I don't know. The GFS predicted a couple hurricanes 200, 300 hours out, but it's all guessing. It's all guessing. It really is. Like, one model run will just show a big hurricane on the GFS. The next model run shows nothing. And then, sure enough, 300 hours later, there's a hurricane making landfall. It's just guess on the GFS model. It throws out all the scenarios so it can be correct. That's basically what it does. Look at that. Look at that. The CMC actually has a tropical system making landfall in Texas about the 19th. So there is your Invest 90L currently, that little blob of red going over Florida. Doesn't look like according to the CMC it's going to have much of a chance, but you can still see it's there. And then that's our other tropical wave that comes off of Yucatan that could develop. Does that like become a, what does that do? Okay, that's just really a wave. It's not much of an interest. And then this also becomes just a tight area of circulation of a low pressure. Not anything too crazy as well. But we're definitely in hurricane season, man. We are definitely getting there. And see, this is what's the issue. This is what's the issue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 areas on this model run with areas of interest here. And I just want to switch to the vorticity just to see how many of those areas are actually, like, notable. Let's see. This one, 700. Yeah, look at it. All of them have blobs of vorticity, especially 3 or 4 of them. So let me just back up. I said 9, right? There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. There's 5. There's 6. Okay, I don't see 7 or 8. Nah. But you get the point. There's so many waves. There's so many waves. And that's what the issue is. Once we get rid of this wind shear towards late July, August, and especially September, we're going to have issues. And we're going to have issues fast. That's why this hurricane season could be ridiculous. But I think most of it's going to depend on if we see a La Nina. Yes, Wisconsin does have some storms heading your way there, especially western Wisconsin tomorrow. If you're out towards like the Rice Lake area across Wisconsin, definitely the potential for all hazards out there. Main threat will be damaging winds, isolated large hail. Time frame for the primary thunderstorms, if they manage to survive, will be right around, according to most models, southwest Wisconsin, about 3-4 p.m. Then we should get another round that pulls through closer to 8-9 p.m. out in this general area. But there's a lot of uncertainty. Just make sure you're weather aware throughout the day, as we could see multiple rounds of severe weather. Tornado season is nearly done. Like I said, the main tornado season, I still believe it's done. We're definitely going to have a risk for another outbreak sometime in the next 5-6 months till we get towards the next tornado season. But it's always a given that we'll have another risk for tornadoes. It's just our main, like, our climatology peak of tornado season's done. I totally didn't get very distracted, by the way. Class of 2023. Let me go back over to... Let's see. Yeah. Let's go back over to our Invest 90L out here west of Florida. You still see it floating around over there. Shocker, there's a flash flood warning where we're seeing a lot of flooding now. Gracious day. How much flooding's occurred out here? Let's look at the last hour of rainfall. Yikes. Let's see what they say. About 2.5 inches according to radar. They say between 3 to 6 inches of rain has already fallen. An additional 2 to 3 is possible. Flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly in the warned area. And that is in Florida. Wow. So that's just the hourly rainfall totals. In order to see the full rainfall totals according to radar, we got to go for high definition here. Okay, I was just checking something. And we're going to go to this. And there you go. Jeez. 8 inches of rainfall, 7, 6 along the coastline, and then even more inland, 5, 4 inches of rainfall. That's a lot of rain. And I wouldn't be shocked, like they said, if another 3 inches of rain falls here. Because this low pressure is not going anywhere, so there you go. Man, I didn't realize how much it's been raining here. Look at this. This is the last 5 hours. Rain. Very heavy rainfall there. So, a lot of rain. That's the main issue today. Rain. Go back over here. Yeah. We've pretty much talked about everything here. So we'll keep going for a little bit longer. I know we have a lot of people watching, but we're still going to end in 12 minutes. Like I said, I'm not in it for the views, so... It's great to, of course, have everybody in here, but I'm not going to keep going if there's not much to talk about. So I appreciate every last one of y'all for tuning in. We'll conclude here in 12 minutes. Before you leave, make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Hit the notification bell so you know when I go live tomorrow, because I will be live. If you want to support the channel further, one of the best ways to do that is simply to go watch my latest video. Any type of videos you watch on my channel, just staying in live streams, liking all of my videos or streams that you see. That stuff supports a bunch. The main goal is to reach as many people as we can, so that's what matters. Holy crap. wild water spout earlier this morning in Texas. Jeez. Did that come through as a tornado report, perhaps? Not at the moment. Okay. By the way, we did see a tornado or two yesterday in western Texas. We had multiple reports of a tornado over fields. And it was a tour possible severe. I was thinking about going live for it, but it never got tornado warned, so I didn't. But good news is it was over fields. From my knowledge, didn't do a single bit of damage except for to some grass and dirt. And also seemed to be very weak and brief. I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't interested in this velocity couplet here. Just the look of this with the clear air present here, the kind of supercellular wraparound that it has. I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't interested in that one. But it has a lot of cell merges to go through, so I wouldn't fully rule out a brief tornado or a brief water spout generally in this area here over the next hour or so. Which there is a 2% tornado risk out here today. They introduced that on their new update recently. Let me see if I can find that. Let's pull this down. Boo. Oh. Where'd it go? Oh, well, shoot. Never mind. The 2% is way down here towards Miami. Well, I still believe the potential for a water spout or a brief tornado will be present, but I'd be pretty shocked if we see one. You know, it's less than a 2% chance, so. I want to go look at the ingredients. I just wouldn't fully rule one out. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you're going to see a tornado. I'm just saying keep an eye out. Doesn't hurt to just keep an eye out. But probably won't do anything. It actually has a not so terrible environment. The better environment is definitely further south. Out here, but that's all messy, so shouldn't see anything. I'm not expecting tornadoes today at all, period. All right, so if you guys have any questions or anything you want me to briefly talk about for about the next 3 minutes, go ahead and just type them in the comments. As long as they're weather related, I will attempt to answer them. Preferably no zip codes or town names. Let's see here. It looks like Radar Scope just had an update. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Radar Scope be lacking, honestly. Still, in my opinion, the best chasing radar, but broadcast-wise, analysis-wise, it's a no-go for me. All right. So here is, like I said before, another live streams. We like to try to do this every once in a while. Here's the current subscriber count that we stand at on this channel. You can see the most spot when the most popular live stream on this channel occurred. This was earlier, actually late last month. Late last month, we just whoomp. Absolutely explosion there. How much did we gain? Oh yeah, like almost 300 in a day. Man, that was crazy. I remember that live stream. Absolutely crazy. So yeah, thank you guys for the support in today's live stream. Glad to have you guys all in here, and a lot of y'all hopefully you guys are at least a little bit more weather aware. If you're in the risk area for tomorrow, just make sure you're staying weather aware. I won't be live the entire day tomorrow, so make sure you have multiple ways to receive watches, warnings, other people you rely on as well, because yeah, just don't rely just off of me. Make sure you have other people to rely off of as well. Most importantly, make sure you are consistently checking your local National Weather Service page, which you can easily find by going to spc.noaa.gov and then going all the way to the bottom, I believe, where you can find the storm reports, and then you could click on this. Actually, hold on, let me see. Oh, you gotta do /product. I was like, which one is this exactly? Oh, okay, there you go. So if you type in exactly what I said, spc.noaa.gov, brings you to this page right here. Should be on the overview, and you just look at hazards, and you can see everything here. We got the flood watches, the fog. Are those fog advisories? Air quality alerts. Air quality alert, air quality alerts all around the board there. So, yeah, just keep an eye on things. Make sure you're staying tuned to your local National Weather Service, local National Weather Service page as well, SPC, Outlook, and National Hurricane Center. Just checking on all of that frequently, which we do for you here on this channel. But always good to check it yourself as well. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit the like button. We're just 5 likes away from the like goal. I know it's annoying me asking, but we are right at the end of the live stream. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and switch to our ending scene. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Much appreciated. Once again, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button with the notification bell set to all so you know I go live or upload a video. If you want to support the channel further, one of the best ways to do that is to just simply watch my latest video. And, yeah, share the channel with your family, friends, social media, wherever you can. It's always appreciated. Flash warning in the background, by the way. And I will see you guys in tomorrow's live stream. It could start anywhere between 3 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Eastern. I don't know when I'll start. It's just going to be sometime between there. Whenever I feel like the threat is high enough, then we will just go live. So, yeah, that is going to be it. And that is, yeah. That is all. Seems like Carson's mad that we're ending. Don't worry, I'll be live for 3 hours tomorrow, unless the threat just doesn't materialize. But today's just a briefing talking about the severe weather potential and everything. So, yeah, if you just tuned in like Carson, you could go watch my latest video. If you haven't already, I uploaded that earlier today. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's live stream. Stay safe, watch severe weather in the tropics, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your night. Goodbye. stay safe, watch severe weather in the tropics. Thank you, mods, for modding the chat, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your night. Goodbye.